So it's me, Raven, the owner of Virgin Hair Obsession. This video is mainly about how I started this company online. Not about my warehouse, my boutique, how I managed to create this online. I basically watched a few YouTube videos and tried to figure out how am I going to build my website. I don't know nothing about coding. I don't know anything about that tech stuff. My major is sports management, but I want to sell hair. And I know I can sell it. I know I can flip it. I know I can hustle. I know I can do it. So I remember my senior year, finals, internships, presentations. I'm about to graduate, but I got to finish this website. And I did it. I really worked my ass off on creating this website. Several nights where I stayed up to like 4 o'clock in the morning creating this website and then to go to class the next day. And this website I actually created has been up for about 3 or 4 years. I'm just now hiring a team to redevelop my website, which was a problem because I dealt with fraud, which I'll talk about in another video. But anyways, so when I first started this business, I was like, oh, I need a loan. I need somebody to support me. Somebody give me some, you know what I mean? You know how people always say, oh, you know, start out with 1,000, start with 500, this and that. So I'm thinking like real business minded because I was taking entrepreneur classes while I was still in school. So I figured, oh, I need a loan to start out. So I checked my credit. Come to find out, somebody been having credit cards in my name since I was 12 years old. So come to find out, somebody very extremely close to me that I haven't spoken to in years had actually stolen my identity, changed up my name, and been buying cars, tires, since I was 12, and I couldn't fight it. So anyways, long story short, basically, I had to start out with a typical paycheck from as a college student with as a part-time job, multiple incomes, started out with $400 or $500. And I basically continued to flip that, and I built this business off of that. But one thing I did, and I will never forget, I watched this documentary. I watch a lot of documentaries on entrepreneurs and rappers and people just trying to make it in the industry. And I will never forget my favorite artist, Wale. He said, you know, it's a lot of people in DC, Maryland, whatever, you know, they want to look good. They buying shoes, they buying sneaks, they want to look good for the girls, they buying them Jordans. They in those long ass lines to get a pair of Jordans. Like the Jordans didn't already come out. But anyways, they're doing all this. You're spending all this money. Why not invest in yourself? So Wale was saying basically like all the money he would have bought with Jordans before he was famous, he basically went in, he was making copies of his mixtapes. He was tons of copies and he was handing them out like they were free. He was giving shit out for free. So what did I decide to do? I sucked it up and I started giving out shit for free. So basically I would do contests online, giving out free bundles. There was a point where, well, of course I tested out the hair to make sure it was some good hair so nobody could call me out, but I made sure, I didn't wear my hair for about a year or two. I did here and there to make sure it was some good quality whenever I added new products, but I wasn't the type of girl who made sure like, oh, my hair is always done, like this is my hair. You know how girls are selling hair, their cousins, everybody sells hair. But basically I was giving, any hair that I wore, I would give it to somebody else. Anybody who had a big following, YouTube, Instagram, girls I've worked with, y'all seen before. Anybody, even samples. I remember I was giving out free samples where I told people, send your email address, to email me basically, and give me your Instagram name so I can make sure you're following me. And then I would say, give me your address, I'm gonna send you some free samples. I remember I did that a couple of times, 200-300 people. It was an investment, but let me tell you something, it was worth it because I gave them a sample so they could dye it. So you know my stuff wasn't no Remy or no Catch on Fire from the beauty supply store at the corner. Like this was real human, 100% virgin hair, raw. Like you can color it, test it. You're gonna like it. And I would put a coupon with it too. So like you're gonna buy from me. Like why you're gonna buy from me? Why wouldn't you buy from me? Like I'm showing you how real this is. Like I'm not no fraud. I'm not fake. But of course, yes, my face was not on the brand. But of course, I had a logo, which came into play where people were stealing my logos, people were stealing my pictures. So it was hard starting out, but I did it. I put my all into it, and I made sure that this was all gonna work out at the end. Like this is gonna work out. Thing with running an online business and starting out, customer service was extremely important. And like I said, I never put a face to the brand, so a lot of people didn't know who I was. So they were thinking, oh my gosh, am I getting scammed? Because this is the type of world we live in with the internet. Am I getting scammed? But it was like, no, you're not getting scammed. And of course, like I talked about in my other videos, I had health issues. So could you imagine you're going blind, you're going paralyzed, you just went through 3 surgeries in 2 months, and you weigh 85 pounds. But you need to make sure you still running this business, because you got girls online still buying hair. They don't know about my situation, but I still had to put that up there, that front, even though it wasn't me. It was a brand I was building. I had to tell people, and, you know, like, your hair is on the way, or like, you know, we're working. I had to really show that without showing my face, which was extremely hard when starting out. And that's why I'm coming out now, so people can know who I am, so they can see my business. I put a face to it, and you can connect with me, so you know, like, obviously I'm not a fraud because I built a bomb-ass business. But also, was building my website and trying to build up a stock and dealing with fraud and chargebacks and all that. It was hard. And I will never forget, I remember I had hair in my closet in college selling that. Then I had moved to, after I graduated, I moved to Middletown, and my ex wasn't working, and I was busting my ass. I was selling hair and working at Amazon while, you know, you got to be careful with the people who you surround yourself with, because let me tell you something. He told me every day I woke up that I was not going to be popping. My business was not going to make it. It was not going to be successful because of the other women who were doing it in the industry, and they live in this entertainment industry life. He told me every day that I would not have what I have now. So when I mean, like, when I started, I started. So yeah, I was selling it online. I remember in my apartment, and then once I left there, a lot of people don't know this, the person I was dating at the time, who was a horrible distraction, full of negativity, I also was going through a domestic violence situation where I had to get a PFA. A lot of people don't know what a PFA is. A PFA is a protection from abuse. So then I had to move to my mom's house, and I was living out her basement. Because I was really on the, like, this is like, I was really getting down, like, it was the low. This was like 2013, 2014. And my mom is my everything. Like, she really, like, made it like, Raven, you gonna be home and you gonna hustle. And while you hustling, like, my mom was like, just stay home and keep hustling. And I'm like, look, I'm about to sell these bundles. I'm gonna be out this house about 4 or 5 months. Like, I'm getting out of here. So, and that's what I did. I busted my ass, and I bought my first house when I was 22, 23. I bought my first house. I had an extra bedroom. That extra bedroom actually ended up being my warehouse for my hair extensions. You walked in there, it was containers to the ceiling. It was crazy. And I would be walking out my house with just trash bags of orders. Of course, you know, it's packaged up and all pretty and nice. And, you know, when starting out, when I shipped my hair, I made sure that them girls felt special. Like, this is a gift. Like, you're going to spend this money? I'm not about to put it in some plastic bags and ship it to you. It was a gift. Like, you open it as if it's your birthday. Like, the hair was packaged beautifully. So, like, anyway, so I'm like, just bags and bags. And then I realized I need to move this out of my house. There's too much hair in my house. I need a warehouse. And then from there, I was like, the warehouse, my stepdad is like, look, you need to, you might as well, let's knock down this wall. You need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, yo, he's right. I decided to rent out booths and have a beauty bar, hair boutique, a warehouse, all in one. And it's literally it's been a journey, but it's a blessing, like an amazing blessing. Because when I tell people my story, they're like, oh my God, that's how you started? Like, people do not believe me. I'm like, let me tell you, like, don't give up. Like, you have no idea. Just don't give up. Like, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a challenge. But if it was easy, who wouldn't? Like, everybody would do it. So, of course, there's going to be challenges. So with running this business for about 3 or 4 years, I never took one day off. Not one day off. Even when I was in the hospital, let me tell you something. My parents were they wanted to choke me out because I'd be in the hospital on my laptop, like I gotta respond to these emails, or on my iPhone, I gotta respond to these emails. Even when BlackBerries was out, I was just like, I gotta respond to these emails, because if I didn't, the trolls were gonna come after me, and I wasn't gonna let that happen. But that's just part of having an online business. I needed a team, but I just wouldn't let nobody in my circle because I dealt with a lot and trust issues, and I just dealt with a lot, and it was just time for me to build a team, to revamp, to grow. So make sure you keep following and check out my next video, because basically I'm going to talk about revamping, growing, but growing the right way, because I grew way too fast. Way too fast. It was a blessing. I love it. But at the same time, I grew way too fast, and I needed to build a team, or I had to slow down, or else this business was going to crash. So check out my next video to see how I revamped my company.
I'm a diva. Diva is a female version of a hustler.